Now from Kurt Bardella, NewsNation contributor, Democratic strategist. We also have the former Congresswoman from the state of New York, Nan Hayworth, former Republican Congresswoman. So as usual, we're both sides represented. Nan, why don't we start with you on, would you defend Hegseth and all this and say he should keep his job? What do you say?
Well, he serves at the discretion of the president, Connor, and the president knows vastly more about all of the components that are going into Secretary Connell, forgive me.
Oh, that's okay. That would have been your last appearance, Nan, but you saved it right before.
I know you.
I was like, well.
Excuse me. Anyway, so the president understands all the components that Pete Hegseth is dealing with. Sorry, now I've got this thing. And it's up to him. I think from the broad perspective, when we talk about this Signal episode, it's basically two halves of the same episode. I'm not defending it. Clearly, Signal is a channel that has to be used with great discretion. I think Secretary Hegseth knows that very well now.
Right.
We know that his foundational job to run the armed services as a civilian is going exceedingly well in terms of many parameters, including great recruitment. They are over all their figures for 2 months now for every service branch. That is a distinct contrast from the antecedent. He is coordinating very well with the CBP and border security to give us stunning results on the border that are very beneficial. He's vigorous. He wants to set a great example for the troops. So I understand why President Trump would continue to express confidence in him. And, remains to be seen.
There's probably other people who could do a lot of the things that you just described. By the way, let's turn Nan's audio off just for a second. We will turn it back on, even though she got my name wrong. If you got to take a drink, Nan, or anything, and you get choked up after that.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't want to have that as hanging over our heads, right? Because Kurt could definitely fill the time. We know that if he had to. So, to my point, what I was trying to say is that they're probably, like Nan, I get your points, Nan, that there's other things that Hegseth brings to the table, but would like a Senator Tom Cotton or somebody bring something else to the table to Kurt, and maybe this is an opportunity for President Trump to move on from, an appointment that, as we said earlier, you could argue maybe he should have made in the first place.
The thing with Trump that we've seen over the years, and our dear friend and NewsNation colleague Mick Mulvaney has shared this with us many times to both Nan and myself, Donald Trump is always behind you until he isn't. And that can happen very quickly. And I think that there is a threshold of tolerance that he's willing to endure at some point of dealing with some of this. But at the minute that you become more trouble than you're worth, that's when the tide changes against you. And as a cabinet secretary, your job first and foremost is to do no harm. It is to literally serve at the pleasure of the president. Right. I know that Trump likes, Secretary Hegseth's style. I like his presentation on TV. That's what got him the job, was being a weekend anchor at Fox and Friends and Trump watching him all the time. That's a very valuable tool to this president that he prioritizes almost above all else, is how you perform in front of the cameras. But when the drumbeat starts and you keep falling into this cycle of having to spend your time as the president talking about one of your underlings, that is something that Trump gets tired of pretty quickly. And so Hegseth needs to, from this point forward, I think, play error-free ball, because the knives are out for him. And if he has one or two more missteps that distract from the president's agenda, he will be shown the door.
Yeah, that's probably fair. All right, enough of this for a moment. Let's hit on the Democrats so that Nan doesn't get worked up at us. There's a story out today from our friend Amy Parnes, who, of course, works for The Hill and just wrote a great book about the campaign, where she interviewed Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Let me start with you, Kurt, on this one. And basically, there's a couple of things in this, but the headline on the exclusive interview from Newsom talking about the Democrats is, "I don't know what the party is. If you don't learn the lessons of the past," he told Amy, "you'll repeat them. The fact that we're not even stress testing what the hell just happened, we're not even having an honest forensic conversation." This is a guy, Kurt, that a lot of people think could be the Democratic nominee next time around.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that Newsom has an outsized impact, given his star power, being the governor of one of the largest states in the union and all the visibility that comes with that. And he's not wrong in that, listen, Democrats, if your answer to how did we lose this election is, well, there's a lot of sexist people, there's a lot of racist people, there's a lot of homophobic people, that's not going to get it done. Let me tell you right there, that's not the answer. Right. Democrats lost ground in so many demographics across the board, geographically, age, socioeconomic, with Hispanic, Latinos. Asian Americans. There is a broad problem with the Democratic Party's identity right now. They don't have one. We know what they're against. We know you don't want to be Donald Trump or MAGA. Like we get the memo on that. What are you for? What are you going to do for everyday working Americans that will definitively affect their lives? And oh, by the way, stop dying on the
Right.
stupid hill of who uses what bathroom and who gets to play in what sport. That is a dumb place to be as a political party.
I want a quick thought from Nan on this. The FDA, the head of the FDA is talking at this red dye event that RFK Jr. is putting together. So we're going to maybe dip in on that. But quick thought on Newsom. There it is. Before we go to that, Nan, try to make it quick if you can.
Governor Newsom has shown very little insight into his own failures in the state of California, and they are legion, from mismanaging the their lands and their waters so that wildfires could engulf so much of Los Angeles, wasting billions and billions of dollars on a speed train to nowhere that still hasn't had any progress. And of course, now they're $6.2 billion in debt because they promised Medi-Cal, taxpayer-paid funded health care to every person in the state, not merely citizens. So he has yet to deal with those. I think he's trying to outrun those deficits because, let's face it, he's a good-looking guy, and that's kind of all he had.
Well, if Kurt's gotten a long, that's got a long way for Kurt. So sometimes that kind of stuff goes a long way. Thank you to Nan and Kurt. We appreciate you both. So that's Marty McCary.
I'm no Connor McShane.
Oh, very good. That's good. Good timing. Oh, very well done. I got to give you credit on that one from the FDA. So McCary speaking. We're waiting on.